Hi everyone and welcome to the channel, and welcome to the first in a series that I'm calling the Retro Read Through. So we're starting off with White Dwarf 168 because this was actually the White Dwarf that got me into the hobby. I've been talking with my friends at school about Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 after he brought in a metal Terminator. So off I went to the newsagents to find myself a copy of White Dwarf, and this was the one I saw with this Blood Angel Space Marine on the front, and even before I opened it up I was just hooked by the picture. We've got the Blood Angel on the front there with this battle scene unfolding behind him. We've got old school Warlord Titan, and then what looks like maybe a Warhound just exploding in the background there, and just this image alone had me hooked. So anyway, without further ado, let's open it up and see what was inside. So as you can see on the inside front cover, we've got the old school metal Gretchin. Large numbers of Gretchin mobs swarm over the battlefield as they follow the Orc Masters to war, and with crude deadly weapons such as auto guns and auto pistols, mobs of Gretchin can overwhelm even the most stalwart of opponents. Now I love these metal Gretchin because when I got the Warhammer 40,000 2nd edition starter kit, you had the 40 monopose Gretchin, and I wanted these ones with the pointy hats and the funny expressions just for a bit of variety, but I couldn't afford them at the time, and then afterwards I just got obsessed with Space Marines, so I never actually got around to getting them. But great little models. As you can see, December 1993 was when this magazine was out, so show my age a bit there. Cover, we've got the Blood Angel Space Marine by Dave Gallagher, then we've got the heavy metal Gretchin there. News, and then we've got Blood Angel's Death Company by Rick Priestley, so we've got rules and a bit of background on the Death Company. Origins of the Skaven, map of the Skaven under Empire, history of the Skaven, and then some heavy metal photos of Skaven. And this month Warhammer Armies Skaven came out, so it's obviously a very heavy Skaven issue. Then we've got Space Marine Assault Squads, some heavy metal photos of Ultramarine Space Marines, and then we've got an epic Space Marine battle report between Chaos and Orcs, which we'll have a look at later on. As always with Games Workshop and Warhammer, we've got the stuff that's coming out this month. So we've got Ultramarines Assault Squad, there was Gretchin, Goff Knobs, Goff Scarboys, and a Space Marine Rhino. $5.99 for the Rhino, how about that? And Warhammer, you had the Warhammer Armies Skaven book, Storm Vermin, Plague Months, Centre Bearers, Dwarf Troll Slayers, try saying that fast, Dwarf Giant Slayers, Dragon Slayer, and Demon Slayer. And then we've got an advert there for Space Hulk on Amiga and PC. If you ever played that, really good game. Games Workshop Australia opening a store, and then Games Workshop Barcelona. The following month, White Dwarf 169 had a card battle bunker as a free gift. You didn't get these spikes that they've added on top there, the studio or the base, but you got this card battle bunker free with White Dwarf, which was pretty cool. Some new Man of War releases this month. Man of War was a ship combat game, sort of like the predecessor to what Dreadfleet was. I don't know if you remember Dreadfleet. I quite enjoyed that game, even though it didn't do awfully well. Games Workshop jobs there, and gift vouchers being advertised, and then we've got a article on the Blood Angels Death Company by Rick Priestley. So we've got some history and lore on the Death Company there, and a bit more, and then Blood Angel Devastators, nice advert there. One of my favourite ever old school metal Space Marine minis was that Devastator Sergeant with the Power Fist. Space Marine Predator on the old Rhino chassis there, another advert. And then continuing on with the Blood Angels Death Company article, we've got some more info on the Black Rage, and then we've got their profile and some rules there for the Death Company. Again on this side we've got the old school metal Blood Angels Death Company Chaplain, and then the metal Death Company Marines. Furioso Dreadnought, the metal one, needed some good glue and pins to put that together, because if you dropped it on a table it would explode, especially if you'd made it with super glue. And then some general info on wargaming at Games Workshop and in stores. Old school Wolfguard Terminator there, one of the best Terminator models ever, even though by today's standards it's quite small. Again, new stores, and then Plague Fleet expansion for Man of War. We've got some Chaos Flyers and Bane Tower of Tzeentch there. More Skaven lore. So we've got background on the Skaven, quite a few pages of it, and then we've got an old world map showing the Skaven under Empire. So we've got Skaven strongholds, lairs and battle sites, and then dates of tunnel excavations. So all these lines across the map are the Skaven tunnels. I used to love it when White Dwarf used to include maps of the Warhammer Old World. I don't remember which issue it was, but they did include a map of the Old World, a full size map that you could put up on your wall. That was a really cool free gift to get with White Dwarf. More history of the Skaven and lore. Death of Nagash. Clan Rat Warriors, Storm Vermin Regiment, Skaven Slave Regiment. And then again more history and lore on the Skaven. Clan Pestilence Plague Monks, Clan Mulder Rat Ogres, and Clan Rat Warrior Regiment. Some more artwork there, and then again more lore and a little bit of fiction on Skaven. And then we've got some nice heavy metal photos of the Skaven in the bright colours of the 90s palette. I used to love it when it was like this, with goblin green bases and super bright colours. It's shifted now, everything's a little bit more dull and subdued, but yeah, back in the early 90s pretty much everything was bright colours, a little bit more fiction. Moving on, we've got the Warhammer Skaven Screaming Bell, and then got some Skaven miniatures for Man of War, and then flying creatures for Man of War, and a battle scene there from Man of War. Dwarf Slayers with his epic Mohawk there, Giant Slayer, Dragon Slayer, and some Troll Slayers. And then we've got the artwork from 2nd edition 40k box cover, Blood Angel Space Marine, Games Day 2011 or 2012, I can't remember which year it was, let me know in the comments. They actually did a Games Day miniature based on this artwork, which was pretty good. It was a fine cast miniature if I remember rightly. Blood Angels Tactical Sergeant, really cool miniature, and then an old Bad Moon Orc there with the blues and yellows, look at that, brilliant. And then moving on, we've got Ultramarines Assault Squads by Andy Chambers, so a bit of background and history on assault squads and some tactics on assault squads. Ultramarines Assault Squad there with Jumpacks in the old Ultramarine blue that's just a hair lighter than Macragge blue. I actually preferred that colour blue, it just makes it pop a little bit more. Although the yellow shoulder pad rims for the second company before they moved to gold were a bit bright, especially with the red weapons. Then some tactics on using assault squads there, looks like they're assaulting some Eldar, and an old school striking Scorpions artwork. And then we've got some more tactics on assault squads and some rules. Warhammer Armies Skaven. And moving on, we've got the Space Marine Battle Report, Epic Chaos Space Marines versus Orcs. It's got a little bit of fiction there, and then some background on the battle, and then setting up the table. And then we've got the Chaos Renegade forces led by Angron, Primarch of the World Eaters. We've got some World Eaters Space Marines, and then various demons and demon engines. Some great artwork there. There's a Titan taking on a demon engine, and then got some of that classic Mark Gibbons art there. Kargos Bloodspitter, one of the best pieces of Rogue Trader and 40k era artwork ever, I think, that one. I love that picture. Then on to the Orc forces, led by a Great Gargant, and then we've got various Orc units, some brilliant names from Epic back in the day. We've got Giblet Grinder, Brain Crusher, Bone Cruncher, Skull Hammer, Gut Ripper. Some fantastic units in Epic Orc armies. And then you can see the Orc plan there, and then there's the battle report map here with the keys to the various different units that they used to publish for battle reports, whether it be Epic, Warhammer, or Warhammer 40,000. Got a full page spread there, double page spread of the Space Marine box that you used to get with the cardboard buildings and the plastic tops. Lots of counters and cards that you used to get in this, but you also got Eldar, Orcs and Space Marines in the box, so it's a pretty good value kit, to be honest. Good starter box if you were getting into Epic at the time, although the rules are a little bit more complicated than 40k. Then we've got the battle unfolding, as you can see. They go through the action on the map, and there's a little bit of narration, and the old battle reports were really good. They used to write it like a story. Victory points as the battle's going on. You can see some photos from the battle as they're doing it. And again, we'll come to the end, there's a debriefing for each side. Advert for Blood Angels Death Company. And then we move on to the mail order stuff. So this was before we had the internet, or in the very early days of the internet. If you wanted something from Games Workshop and you didn't go into a store, you could just mail order it, and every miniature and every bit had a part number, list of what's coming out this month and usually what's available. And then obviously you've got your miniatures with the part number. Some Marauder miniatures there. Trolls, Dwarf Slayers. Then we've got old school Orcs, Goths and Bosses, and Space Marines. We've got the Jump Pack Assault Troops there, and the Blood Angels Death Company Troopers. Back to Orcs again, some Death Skulls. We've got the old Ghazghkull Thraka model there, some Evil Suns, Blood Axe, Bad Moons. There's the Bad Moon that we saw in the yellow and blues. The Metal Gretchin there. And then we've got some Man of War, Sea Creatures. We've got Triton, Sea Dragon, Sea Elemental, Kraken, Mr. Crab. Then we've got some flyers for Man of War, Skaven Warships and Chaos Warships, Space Marine Battles book, which is an accompaniment to the Epic Space Marine game. We've got some various Chaos flyers there, Demon Engines of Khorne and a Chaos Titan. That one was a very popular one for Chaos armies in Epic. And then we're on to Demon Engines of Khorne, and then some Orc War Machines, Mech Boy Gargant, Super Lifter Dropper Arm, another great example of the Orc names. And then Orc War Machines, Skull Hammer, Giblet Grinder, Brain Crusher, Gut Ripper, Bone Cruncher and Bowel Burner. Great Gargant with the various metal parts to put it together, and then a little bit of an illustration on how it goes together. And then moving on, we've got the artwork that we always used to have on the back cover of White Dwarf. A mighty Skaven horde swarms forward to sweep away an Empire and Dwarf alliance. So that's it for the first of the retro read-throughs of White Dwarf 168. Hope you liked it. If you do, just leave me a like and let me know if you enjoyed it in the comments. If you didn't like it, rather than give it a thumbs down, just leave me a comment and let me know what you didn't like. It'll help me make better videos in the future. Got a few more of these on the way. I've got White Dwarf 166 coming up next, which was the release of Warhammer 40,000 2nd edition, so I'm looking forward to getting that one filmed. And then there'll be some more White Dwarf retro read-throughs, as well as some old school codexes and various rule books from 40k 2nd edition and the background books. If you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe. There's plenty more on the way. I'll leave it there. All that's left to say is thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Cheers.